How's it going, guys? This is Holly with Grindworx, and today we have the best-selling cold steel knives for you. Cold steel knives. If you guys have never heard of them, just watch this clip and I probably won't need to say anything else. So if those clips told you anything, it's that cold steel is into big, like crazy oversized knives that are all about just enjoying all the insane things that you can do with said knives. But they are also great quality and very affordable, which is one of the reasons why they are so popular. So first off, we are going to talk about the Ti-Lite Sport GFN folder. As you can see, that opens with a thumb hole, which has always been a little tricky for me to use, but it's very smooth. We got a total length of 8 inches there with a 3.5 inch blade. That is a drop point with a very interesting sort of rear positioned swedge, or maybe you want to call that a finger choil on the spine. It's 41/16 steel, flat grind, my favorite stonewash finish. This also comes in a clip point and a Tanto style, and I believe a couple of the other varieties open with a thumb stud rather than a thumb hole. This is a GFN handle, which also comes in other colors. And we have Cold Steel's famous triad lock. It's basically a lockback mechanism, but like the most rock solid lockback you're ever gonna come across. This thing is absolutely bomb-proof. And then we also have a reversible tip-up carry pocket clip along with a lanyard hole. Some of the pros here, it's a large knife and very durable, but it has very little relative weight for its size. I mean, it's just over 3 ounces. It is a little bit too big for my taste, and I'm personally not a fan of lockbacks in general, but as locking mechanisms go, lockbacks are probably the best you can do as far as strength and reliability, durability, all those things. So if that's important to you, this would be an awesome choice for you. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Kudu light folder. This is a really interesting knife, and it's only $8. So we got a total length of about 10 inches. That is a 4.25 inch blade. This whole thing only weighs 2.7 ounces, so very lightweight. We've got 5CR 15 MOV steel in a clip point style with a flat grind and a satin finish. You can see the nail nick opener there. We've also got a polymer handle with this really cool inlaid steel design that kind of reflects the antlers of the Kudu there. This is a slip joint mechanism with a very, very noticeable half stop. Let me see if I can show you this here. So that's got the stiffest walk and talk I have ever seen. There is no pocket clip or lanyard hole, but that is typical of traditional style slip joint knives. The pros, I think this is a really interesting design. It comes out of South Africa. I think that design kind of sets it apart from most typical knife designs. And as you saw, the action is very good for a slip joint. I love having that halfway stopping point when you're closing, so it's not snapping shut on your fingers. The cons, honestly, this is probably going to be an issue for me with all the knives on the table. Still too big, and I prefer a locking knife. But I mean, I can see why this is so popular. For $8, you're getting a large knife. It's going to offer a lot of utility. It's unique and very well designed. Okay, next up, we have this 14-inch Pro Flight Sport throwing knife. Look at that sucker. This is right around $15 on the site right now. It's, as the title suggests, 14 inches in total length. It's double-edged down there on the point. It's 1055 steel with this textured black coating over the whole thing. 10.9 ounces, so pretty hefty. It does have a lanyard hole here at the bottom. Now, I don't know much about throwing knives, so take my input for what it's worth. Those of you who do have experience with throwing knives, I'd love to hear you chime in the comments. I'm assuming that the size and the weight of the balance of this thing is going to allow you to achieve greater distance throws. And, you know, I'm one of those people who gets really nervous when I walk down the aisle at the store that's got all the glass vases and stuff. So I don't even want to think about how deep this thing is going to sink into its targets. Whenever I go axe throwing, my throws almost always end up way out of line, crazy, going off in all directions because I'm so afraid of like chopping my ear off as I throw it that I can't really focus on getting it to fly straight. So this is definitely not something that you're gonna see me using anytime soon, but for those of you who enjoy throwing knives, I could see you having a lot of fun with this. Next up, we have what basically is a folding sword, you guys. This is the Voyager extra large Tanto folder. Right around 70 bucks on the site. See if I can get this thing open anywhere near smooth. Like, you have to have the hands of a giant to be able to flip this thing open with that thumb stud. It is over 12 inches in length, you guys. That blade, 5.5 inches. Despite its size, it only weighs a little under 8 ounces. I mean, that's still a hefty knife, but half a pound for a knife this big ain't too shabby. It's Oz 10A steel, clearly a Tanto blade. This has a hollow grind and that lovely stonewash finish that I love so much. This is a polymer handle with some pretty aggressive texturing and some unique ergonomics. It's apparently designed to offer a variety of grip options. I'm not sure why you would need those different grip options, but hey, you got options. Nothing wrong with that, right? Here we see Cold Steel's very strong lock back again. It has a reversible tip-up carry pocket clip, and there's a lanyard hole down there. As far as pros on this one, I mean, it's going to absolutely destroy whatever task you need it to do. I could see this doing well as maybe like a bushcrafting knife. The cons, obviously it's way too big to be very practical as an EDC, which is what it's recommended for. But hey, if you're into big knives, here you go, I found the one for you. Last, we have the 4-inch Ti-Lite folder, and I'm about to struggle to open this because it is a thumb stud, and sometimes I have a hard time with those. This is about $45 on the site. At the moment, it's 8 3/4 inches long with a 4-inch blade, as the name suggests. About 3.5 ounces. This is Oz 8A steel with what looks to me to be a bayonet blade. It's got a flat grind and a beautiful satin finish. It has both the thumb stud and the flipper openers. And I love that they added this second flipper on it so that when you open it, it really resembles a stiletto. This is a Zytel handle, and it is a liner lock. Yay, liner lock. We've got a tip-up carry pocket clip, only one orientation. Pros, I love the nod to Italian style, and I really like the liner lock. Liner and frame locks are probably my favorite style of locks when it comes to knives because they're much easier to use. I like being able to close a knife one-handed. The cons, it's a little tricky to open, guys. I don't know if that's just me, but one, the thumb stud is kind of hidden in the handle there, so for me it's hard to get a little purchase on it. It's a long blade, so unless you've got bigger hand, getting the leverage to swing that thing all the way open is a little tricky. This flipper up here gets in the way a little bit, kind of gets hung up on my finger as I'm opening it. I'll give it a try with the flipper, but I don't really see that being any better. I mean, this flipper on the back here barely protrudes at all. Yeah, and I was never one to do front flippers. Let's see what I can do. Ugh. I mean, it's doable, but neither one of those is very simple for me. Again, that could just be me. I mean, just take one look at Lynn Thompson.
That piece of rope's bigger than my upper arm.
These knives are not designed for ladies. These are intended for your macho dudes with bear paws for hands, all the way. So there you go, those are the top 5 best sellers for Cold Steel. If I had to choose a favorite, it's definitely between these. They both have their issues for me as far as, you know, being easy for me to use, but I have to say the Pro-Lite wins out for sure. I like the overall look and design. I like how lightweight it is. I like the simplicity of it. You know, that's one of the benefits to having a simple design like a lock back, is there's just not too many mechanisms in there to screw up. They stand up well to wear and tear. You're gonna get a lot of use out of this knife. So I'd love to hear from you guys. If you're a fan of Cold Steel, definitely sound off in the comments. Let me know why you love Cold Steel, which cold knives you carry and you would recommend. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and click that notification bell so you're the first to know when a new video drops. I'll make sure to drop some links to these knives in the description below, and as always, you can jump on grindworx.com check out all the options we have from Cold Steel there. Thanks so much for watching the day, guys. See you next time.